I'm BENY ASHBURN.
And I'm T.O. Hunter, and we are Crowns and Hops Brewing Company, black-owned brewing in L.A. area, soon to be opening in Inglewood, California.
6 years ago, we noticed a big void of black and brown cultural representation in the craft beer industry. Since then, we've been dedicated to promoting diversity and inclusion in the craft beer. Our brand mission is to preserve culture, expand the palate, and build the community.
Crowns and Hops is the first craft beer brand to bridge communities of color, dope culture, and craft beer. We've built a community on craft beer enthusiasts and culture creators through our events and content. We also noticed something else, that the experience is tied to the palate. So essentially, if your experience is fucked up and awkward, you're not going to try that experience again.
That said, this is bigger than beer. This is about the community. We believe our success is a win-win for the industry as a whole, driving velocity and exploration of craft beer. In areas that are plagued with liquor stores, we introduce a new, safe, family-friendly space for our communities.
Next year, we planned on, or I apologize, this year we really focusing all our energy on the growing demographic in craft beer, which is the most rapidly growing, and speaking to it with authenticity. As the number of minorities grows in craft beer, so is the need for products and spaces that are aligned with this culture.
Next year, we plan to open our flagship brewery, adding a new tribe to this community, a dope, fly, progressive tribe that's ready for the brand like Crowns and Hops and bringing some energy to this industry.
Look, excellence is for everyone. The name Crowns and Hops is intended to remind people that you're deserving of the best, and also to remember not everybody knows about this amazing liquid.
Our flagship beers will protect tradition, cultural nostalgia, and a vibe that promotes human connections. Today, you're trying our American-styled Urban Anomaly. It's brewed with a chocolate wheat with a little less astringency, smoked malt for added complexity, and lactose for added body at 6%.
We'll also have a true West Coast IPA that'll be brewed with Citra, Simcoe, and Ariana, giving it a palate punch without the lingering bitterness at a 6.5% ABV.
And now, the movement for diversity has a beer. We introduce the BPLB IPA series. This is an ode to our global community that proudly rocked our Black and Brown People Love Beer merch that really sets the catalyst for interesting conversations. We'd be nowhere without our community.
And also, let's talk about our legacy. And our legacy is something that I discovered earlier this year. I discovered that my great-great-great-grandmother, Phoebe Crump, was a brewer in Faraday, Louisiana. And we are proud to share her story along with other American brewers.
Craft beer is fucking dope, and this is important, and we feel like this is the new now of craft beer.
Welcome to Crowns and Hops.
Woo!
Damn.
Didn't know we had brewers like that back in the day, did you?
Or did we?
We're a little short on microphones. Is it okay if you guys
we'll share.
Okay, outstanding. Tom, they had about an extra 90 seconds for this presentation. Did you hear anything today that made you more interested, less interested, more excited about Crowns and Hops?
I think it's absolutely compelling. I mean, you guys do a great job of being on point and really articulating what your platform is and what your desires are. I like the BPLB seasonal series. I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, everything that you've poised for me just makes me ask more questions, like what else are you going to do for the portfolio? What other beers are you going to design? And how are you going to interface and create connections and intersections in community? And how are you going to grow this, you know, in a viral way to really kind of reach a larger audience? And I think you guys are doing an amazing job of really getting that out there just in the short amount of time.
Thank you very much.
NICO, your thoughts on the presentation and the beer?
I'm curious how you're going to, like, going into the depth of your community, like, how are you going to have people advocating for your brand? How are you going to get people to say, this is a cause that I care about?
Well, the brand has been going for over 6 years. We realized that instead of just dropping a brewery in a community of color, that we needed to make sure that that community recognized and understood the product that was being placed in front of them. What you experience now is a ton of breweries operating and placed in communities that have no idea what the hell they are. So I think what we've done is we built that community. We will explore traditional styles. We don't feel like we need to change or influence the beer outside of just giving them the same experience that we had that changed our lives as it relates to craft beer.
And just to add to that quickly, really, it's just offering someone a pint. And I think there's a whole community and demographic that have never been offered something as simple as a pint of craft beer. And that's where we start, and the experiences will drive people to the beer.
All right. In terms of the growth strategy and what you heard about opening up a new facility next year, Ryan, what are your thoughts on that approach?
I love the strategy, love the mission. I do think you make sure you understand your cost very carefully. Whatever you're going to spend on facilities, on tap rooms, understand your economics so you can build a sustainable business that can generate more of these businesses, which is desperately needed. I'm very cautious in this environment of spending anything on equipment and facilities that may not be needed right now. Just be very careful how you spend.
Veronica, your thoughts on the liquid, the beer? What do you think of what you tasted?
Yeah, so positioned as an American stout, when I first smelled it, I thought it was a little bit more chocolatey than an American stout. And then I heard there was lactose in it. I would position it as a milk stout, especially if your name is Crown and hops. Hops are a part of American stouts, so that they should be very present in an American stout. One thing I'll mention is acknowledge where you got the most applause, your origin story, that beautiful black woman being like a brewer. That is something I think lean into that.
To be doing this for the past 6 years and to just find this out from my my great aunt was mind blowing. I thought she was fucking with me, to be honest. And I had to do some digging and come to find out she was actually a business owner. Post slavery, she was a business owner. It's just 6 miles south of Faraday, Louisiana, brewing beer for her community, and I still get chills just thinking about it.
Story.
And I think it's stories like that our community needs to see. I'm almost as sick of hearing the whole bearded white guy thing as probably you all are, but we need to make sure we introduce models and stories like that to make sure that people understand there's a substantial story.
Yep. Marty, you get the last word. Any thoughts, questions do you have about?
Yeah, from the old bearded white guy, I got it. You're one of the few authentic origin stories that will break through. There's so much of these origin stories that we've just lost listening to and caring about, so I think you do have that. I would say in a distributor's point of view who can't get into that qualitative sense, they're going to look at the quantitative sense of going out with American Stout in Southern California. I love it. I can drink it during a hot sunny day, but are they going to think about that in the greater masses? So, you're going to have to find some data that proves them wrong and their senses.
I think, no. I think that what we did purposely in making the stout a low APV really kind of speaks to that, allowing it to be a winter beer as well as a summer beer. And I think also talking to our demographic, it's funny, when we recently did a beer festival, we thought the IPA was going to be the thing that sold out. It was a black beer festival in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Dave over in Fresh Fest in the corner. But actually, the stout went like crazy. Everybody loved the stout, and we're realizing because of the flavor profile, that might speak a little bit more to our demographic because it's a little bit sweeter. It's not so hoppy, so I think we actually have something there in the stout that can go year-wide.
Good.
All right, unfortunately, we have to wrap up there. Great job, guys. Well done.